Hey everybody, I'm David Craig. Welcome to The Most Excellent Way. We've got a wonderful show for you tonight. We hope you'll join us. Our number is 432-7768. The Most Excellent Way is an effective answer to dealing with the problem of addictions to really anything, but drugs and alcohol come to mind. And The Most Excellent Way has been around for decades now and has helped many, many people on the path to sobriety. With me today are two very special guests. They're MEW group leaders, and we have Chris Levine. And Chris is on the opposite end of the set here. Welcome to the set, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David.
And also with us is Jackie Johnson. Jackie is also an MEW group leader. Most people who are with MEW got there because they were introduced to MEW due to problems in their own life for which they were seeking solutions. And I'm sure you'd both agree, but let me start out by asking you, Chris, how important is it for a person to really make that decision that they want to beat the addiction, whatever it is that problem is, with alcohol, drugs, pornography, their addiction? How important is it for a person to decide, hey, I've got to do something about this?
Yeah, it is a decision that you have to make personally, and it's one that you need to be serious about. It's one that you want to put your whole commitment into, and involving Jesus in that decision is what's going to make a life change for that individual. When that decision comes to being made, you want to make sure that you're putting your priorities in order, getting somebody to be a sponsor for you, so that you can call them and ask for prayer, direction, and what their questions or situations might be in order for them to get through that difficult time that they're having in their life.
And one thing that I find very welcoming, or frankly realistic, about Most Excellent Way is you welcome people no matter what the depth of their problem is at the moment. No matter how addicted they may be at the time they come to you, and obviously they've got to have a problem or they wouldn't be coming. But you'll take them even with problematic frames of mind, like if they're obnoxious or hostile or in the depths of depression, or you're not going to say, oh, you're going to bring the group down by coming here like that. Go off and get happy and come back when you're drugged and happy. That's not how you deal with people. You take them as they are. Isn't that right, Jackie?
Yes, they receive you just the way you are. Had it not been for the love and the support that my Most Excellent Way family gave me, I wouldn't be here today. I was known as get cleaned up for a week and then end up relapsing. And they accept me just the way I was. They prayed for me. They loved on me. They encouraged me. And I really needed that in my time of addiction. Most Excellent Way, I found a mentor there, and she loved me until I was able to love Jesus Christ and establish a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, something that I never had before in my life.
Now, Chris, you're here, you represent a whole big area within Most Excellent Way that gives support to friends, family members, loved ones of the person who's addicted. Yeah. And what is that program called? And tell us a little bit about it.
It's the friends and family side of MEW, and it goes hand in hand with the addiction part of the meetings that we have. And what we do is we're there for the support for the loved one that is there for the one that's having the addiction problem. And what we're doing with those people is we're encouraging, we're giving the examples of how we've let God move in our lives. And what we're finding too is we need to have the hand out there to be there for our help. The world has a focus on wanting to point at the negative situations, and society today has a tendency to want to put the person that doesn't necessarily have the right things in order in their lives, we want to put them out of the way. Well, that's what MEW is not about that. We're more of bringing in and loving on them and show them there is a way out of the addiction, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. It can be any kind of addiction that's causing them to stumble in their life and causing family frictions.
So it's not only that the friends and family, can certainly, if given the proper direction, can be supportive and be helpful and be part of the road out to sobriety for the afflicted, but they often become victims in their own right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's
true.
a lot of fallout that comes, to the loved ones of people who are addicted. Now, we asked you about this before the show, and maybe you could bring it up, but you had a problem with a person in your family who was addicted. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, some time ago, my wife, she did have an addiction problem, and that happened to lead us to a most excellent way. And by getting involved with that, the Most Excellent Way has an awesome outreach program there. It's reaching the people, getting them in tune with getting a recovery process going, and doing that with God. Can't do things on our own. God has got to be placed first in our lives. And when we're doing that, it all falls into order. Now, the friends and family side that I'm leadership of, that's there in the support part of that part of the program. And what we're doing is we're supporting, saying this is the things that you may be feeling, and talk about our times that we've had our struggles and our difficulties, letting the new members that come into our group, or however it may be, that there is hope past the struggles and the situations that are coming in on them at this time, and that the trials of life, they're not always meant to be bad. God takes things and makes good out of them, and that's where I'm at today, is by going through these meetings, getting a relationship that I've had with God all my life, but this has definitely brought me a lot closer and more involved and more in tune with God as my leading source. And,
yes, go ahead.
And I was saying that it just brings everything together in a focus to cause the family to come together as well. And that's how our meetings are. We're like a family there as well.
Most Excellent Way website is mostexcellentway.org, and they've got a lot of great materials there, as well as you can find where a meeting site is near you. So you can find that on the net at mostexcellentway.org. So let me understand this. Let's say I've just got maybe just a little crack cocaine problem, like maybe I'm just kind of chipping at it, like smoking it every, I don't know, hour on the hour for, maybe 15 years or so, okay? And I come to Most Excellent Way and I say, I want help. I want to beat this problem. And I'm doing pretty good for, I don't know, it seems like about a week, but then, well, really it was more like 3 days. But I ran into some people, because they're the people that are in my circle of friends, and they all are like crack cocaine smokers. And I ran into my dealer too, and he had some real good stuff. And so I kind of got off the wagon and smoked a little crack before the next meeting. When I showed up, I would qualify for the proverbial black chip, would I not, Jackie?
Yes, definitely.
Tell me about the black chip.
Well, the black chip was, it is the most important chip there is. I picked the black chip up several times. The black chip is just stating that you went out and you used drugs, you want to come back and you want to humble yourself before the group and say, look, I messed up, I want to start over again. And the black chip represents that. And me, myself, picked up about 50 black chips, and my MEW family loved on me and they encouraged me. I didn't have to go in there and hold my head down. I was like, you guys, I messed up again, and they really applaud you when you make a step to pick the black chip up, because it means a lot. It means that you're starting over, you're confessing, you're humbling to yourself. It
also means it's a representation of honesty.
Yes.
and your willingness to be honest with yourself and with other people.
Yes.
And I would think that type of honesty is absolutely necessary to get beyond this type of tribulation. Would you agree?
Definitely, I totally agree. It's all about honesty. If you can't be honest with your group people, then you can't be honest with yourself. And that was one issue I had for many years. I would go to the meetings and not confess that I had used and didn't understand why I couldn't stay clean and sober.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your problem with addiction, when and how it started, and problems that it brought to you.
Okay, I started using crack cocaine in 1987. 1989, I went to Escambia County Jail. I stayed there for, I did 11-15 there. And I thought that because I was in jail and I was away from crack, that when I got out of jail, I could stay clean and sober, and that's not so. Going to jail will not keep you clean and sober, because I got out of jail and I continued to do the same thing. I continued to go to the old people, places, and things, and I lost a lot. I lost jobs. I lost, destroyed families with my crack addiction. I used crack cocaine for 18 years.
11-15, for those of you who haven't spent some time there, means 11 months and 15 days.
Yes.
So even though, were you drug-free during that time?
When I was in jail?
Yes?
Yes, I was.
Okay, because we all hear stories about, sometimes people can smuggle things in, or and I don't mean about that facility
Right.
particularly, but just jails, in general.
Right. No, definitely. I was clean and sober in jail. As a matter of fact, I gave my life to Jesus Christ while in jail.
Mm-hmm. And yet you came out and I guess I'm going to guess, you started seeing the same people.
Yes.
And walking in the same circles.
Yes.
That led you to the problems to begin with.
Yes, I got out of Escambia County Jail and went straight back to the crack house, hanging with old friends and just doing old things. Yes, sir.
So one of the important pieces of advice I think you'd give is, if you're going to quit, one of the best ways to do it is to not go back to the crack house.
Right.
It would seem to make sense, but a lot of times we are all creatures of habit,
Right.
and we've got the same friends, and if we keep those friends, or maybe they're not in the crack house today, but they're the same friends that you met in the crack house or see in the crack house, you got to give up some of these acquaintances too as well, don't you?
You have to. And see, I didn't understand that. It's more to just being saved, asking Jesus Christ to come into your heart. You have to establish a personal relationship with Jesus. And that's what I found in the most excellent way. I didn't understand what a personal relationship was. And I got with my mentor, and she said, Jackie, a personal relationship is you getting to know Christ. You getting to read your Bible. You're praying. And you're just talking to God and telling him your deepest fear, your deepest desires. You see, because they told me that I was going to die in my addiction. And I called out to Jesus Christ. And in the pit, he reached down and pulled me out. And he set me free from crack cocaine. And I've been clean from drugs now 4 years.
People who have never taken cocaine, okay, they just must be in a quandary. Why would anyone even want to do that? Because, we've all heard, you do it once and it's liable to hook you. And I'm going to guess you didn't have to smoke crack too many times before you wanted another crack rock. Is that true?
Well, that's so for me. I remember the very first time that I smoked crack cocaine, I was totally addicted to it. And found out later that I kept running back to crack cocaine because it's not just the drug, it's the issues that I had in my life. I had a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, a lot of anger and rage deep down inside, and see, it was too hard for me to bear. So I believed the lie that crack cocaine was the answer, and it wasn't. Jesus is the answer.
Were you telling yourself that it was the answer, or were other people telling you it was the answer?
Well, basically, I was telling myself that it was the answer.
Mm-hmm. And as a crime reporter, and I produce that Blue Light show, and I've seen a lot of people run into law enforcement that have lots of crack on them, and I've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of these folks, and not the best of circumstances for them, usually when they're getting ready to or on the way to jail. And I've asked so many folks, what is it that is the big draw about this drug? What is it that you like about cocaine that you keep going back to it? And if I were to ask you, if you could think back, what was it? I mean, were you thinking, oh, I have pain, this will help my pain? Is that what you're saying? I've had people say that it just, feels better than anything else, and, I need to get that feeling back.
Yes.
Or what was the reason why you went back to crack?
I kept going back because it gave me a feeling that nothing else could give me at the time. It was a rush that was out of this world. I've never felt a rush like that before in my life. And I was addicted to the chase of crack cocaine, because we're still chasing that high when we use crack cocaine, and we never get it. So,
And that's because the very first rush was your best rush,
exactly.
wasn't it? Okay, but we're going to find out why Jackie decided to replace that rush after this short break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back on Most Excellent Way.
Hi, I'm Bob Hanley, Realtor and Short Sale Specialist at Sell State Gulf Coast Realty. If you are behind on your mortgage payments for your home or investment property, the short sale might be your best solution. Visit my website, Pensacola to PanamaCityRealEstate.com for more information and to download our short sale forms. Call me at 698-1664, that's 698-1664 for your free consultation.
Where can you find a great deal on a car that's just right for you? Price Right Auto Sales, 6317 Old Palafox. Ask about our 90-day same as cash financing. Let's make a deal on your next set of wheels at Price Right Auto Sales. You'll find your ride at Palafox and Hancock. So come see us or call 479-9588. Price Right Auto Sales, 6317 Old Palafox, 479-9588.
We are back on Most Excellent Way, and where we left off, it was with Jackie telling us that she was chasing that rush. The first rush was the best rush. She couldn't get back there, but she sure did like that crack cocaine. Why, if it was so wonderful, Jackie, did you come to the decision that you needed help to get rid of such a wonderful and rewarding habit such as crack cocaine?
Because that's the lie that Satan deceives us. Your first hit is the best hit and it's the only hit. But as I began to do crack cocaine for so many years, it woke something else in me. I began to get paranoid. I became to get depressed and just very anxious. And I didn't like that feeling. I could no longer tell what reality was, what was real and what wasn't real.
Yes, ma'am. Now, you kind of said that, but I'm kind of wondering, can you expand on that a little bit? When you say you couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't real, were you hallucinating?
Yes, I was. I was hallucinating, seeing things, hearing things, and that just wasn't a good feeling for me. Somebody told me about Jesus Christ and told me that he was the truth, he was the way, he was the life, and that's what I wanted.
So this was the extra little side effect of the crack cocaine that you didn't really know that you were going to get.
Right.
You didn't know that you were going to hear voices and stuff.
Didn't know that.
What were the voices telling you?
I couldn't really tell you what they were saying to me. It was just calling my name, just seeing things that I knew wasn't real, wasn't there.
So you decided, I need to get off this bandwagon.
I need to get me some help. Yes,
right.
Sir. Yeah.
And how did you find help?
Well, basically, I went to a lady that had been in my life for so many years, and I said, okay, I'm ready to go back to treatment. And keep in mind, I've been in treatment 11 different times. And she looked at me and she told me, she said, Jackie, I'm not sending you to treatment. She said, there's just no hope for you. You got enough treatment center and you to run your own treatment center. And when I walked out that door, part of me felt defeated, and that's what Satan came to do. He came to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus Christ came to give me life, and I remembered that. So I went and called my good friend, my spiritual mom, Miss Debbie Jeffcoat, and said, look, I need some help. And right then and there, the Most Excellent Way family, Debbie Jeffcoat, and my pastor, they were on it to help me get some help.
Now, how did you make the transition from going to the meetings, getting the 50 black chips, which is falling off the wagon pretty often, I would think.
Definitely.
Okay. And to being addiction free, and then finally to now you're an MEW group leader in your own right. Maybe you could tell me about that journey.
Well, that journey for me, I'm also the Caris House mom. I went through that program as well. And that program, I surrendered. I surrendered everything I had and said, Jesus Christ, here I am. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do it. And that's all it took was surrender and being honest. And during that journey, as I said, I graduated the Caris House program. I became the house mom, and now I'm on the Most Excellent Way ministry team. And I just give a testimony of what drugs can do for you, but versus what Jesus Christ can do for you.
And again, the website is mostexcellentway.org, and in Most Excellent Way, they encourage men with problems to call men in Most Excellent Way who are group leaders, and women with problems to call women.
Right.
So if you're a woman in need of some help for your addiction and you'd like to call Jackie, this is her number. It's 208-5608, 208-5608. That's for Jackie Johnson. And if you'd like to call Chris about the Friends and Family group, or for that matter, if you're a man with addiction problems, he could certainly steer you in the right direction, which would ideally be toward a meeting. And a great number to reach Chris at is going to be 332-5740, 332-5740. Now, Chris, I presume all the time you're hearing from family members who are saying, I'm at my wit's end with this thing.
Right.
I'm just ready to give up. I'm ready to, if it's a husband about, I guess you're talking to men because you are men, they're going to be talking about their wives with addiction problems. So they're going to be saying, I'm ready to shove her off the boat, file for divorce, get rid of it. She's emptied our bank accounts. She's, she's doing things that are dangerous for the kids. She's getting arrested. What do you say to people who are ready to, end their marriages? Do you always just say, well, hang in there, try this, see if it works? Or are there sometimes some cases where it seems so horrific that your gut feeling is just telling you, well, do what you think is best for your family and your children? I mean, how do you make those kind of decisions? It must be a big weight on you.
Well, each case has got its own way of unfolding, but we definitely see, and we do have men and women in our meetings that I'm in leadership on, but what we find is a lot of the situations, as varied as they may be, intertwine with one another, and they are very similar in the things that we go through. So that's what's very important. And when we do have somebody come to the meeting that's new, that we've got lots of experience in that room already, that it gives them hope and knowing that they can get through those situations. Now, if there are situations that is threatening to the kids of a family member, we can take direction, and we're always praying. Each of the meetings start off with prayer. We end the meetings in prayer. And as you mentioned earlier, the numbers are exchanged so we can keep contact with each other and make sure that things are in the good and there's no safety issues there. But I think one of the key things is letting them know that even though it's a real bad situation that they're in, is God takes bad things and makes good things out of them. And that's why I'm here today, because God has been in my life that strong to make the situation turn around and put our family back together and put an awesome structure for us to go forth in.
Even though prescription medications, which by the way are narcotics, people tell us at the sheriff's office, that's more than 50% by volume of the criminal narcotics problems that they're facing is prescription medicines. But even though prescription medicines and meth are giving crack a real run for its money, crack is still around in a big way. And since Jackie is somewhat of a crack cocaine expert in her own right, having so much of her life utilizing the drug and then somehow escaping it, I want to talk to you, okay? Because no, not you, but you, yeah, you. The one that's on crack right now. Yes, you. Okay, you're on crack, and that's why I'm talking to you. And you're thinking, this makes some sort of sense. Maybe giving my life to Jesus and maybe seeking some help and getting rid of it. This addiction and everything. It is awfully expensive, isn't it? Because crack will cost you, and you know this really in your heart of hearts, like most addictions, it'll cost you everything you had, everything you got, and everything you ever might have had. So it's going to take everything. It's going to take your home. It's going to take your family. So I want to ask you this: you're thinking about maybe calling up and trying to get some help, but you still have a couple of rocks left. And you're saying to yourself, as soon as I smoke those last 2 rocks, I'm going to get me some help. What would you say to someone who's thinking like that, Jackie?
I would say pick the phone up now and call somebody so you can get yourself some help.
When at the point at which you sought help, were you still in possession of and doing drugs?
Yes, I was. Like I said, after the lady told me what she told me, I ran straight to Miss Debbie Jeffcoat and asked for help, and I got the help I needed. That's why I'm saying whatever you're doing now, whatever the situation is, call, ask for help.
Well, I want to thank you. Our time is up. For Jackie Johnson, Chris Levine, in Most Excellent Way, I'm David Craig. Be happy, be safe, and get yourself drug and alcohol free.
Amen.